Hi everyone, happy Wednesday. I hope that you guys all had a really great weekend and that your week is off to an amazing start. The backdrop look is different because I'm actually in Sacramento staying with my family. In my last video, I announced that I will be switching into a new career path and I'm going to be starting at a new company very, very soon. And so with that being said, I decided to take like a week off before I start my new job and kind of just reground myself and recharge. It's actually perfect timing because my sister's birthday is this upcoming weekend. So much fun, so many cool things that are going on. And I thought, oh my gosh, it would be a good video to just kind of talk about what's going on currently in my life and give advice and tips and tricks to all of you guys. I feel like most of the people that follow me on social media are people that are still in college and that are about to graduate. So this video is probably coming up at a good time because you're thinking about, what your next move is going to be. If not, you might have been someone who's been working for a couple years and you're kind of thinking, is this the right thing for me? I want to move into something else. Or maybe you've been in your role and you're just ready for a promotion. I don't know what your situation is, but I just think that this is valuable information. With the experience that I've had, I've definitely learned a lot throughout the process and the journey. And I think that there are quite a few really helpful tips that I can share with you. Also, really quickly, I have an avocado smoothie and I'm so excited about it. Gotta get rid of that quite quickly. First thing is first. I'm not sure if you're still in college or if you just graduated or what your personal situation is, but something that I think is very, very important when it comes to like figuring out what you want to do and what your next career move is actually reflecting and taking time to think about yourself and who you are, what you're passionate about, and like what motivates you. So I'll just share a little bit about my backstory so that you guys can get a better understanding of like who I am, I guess, and how I kind of figured out what I wanted to do. So let's rewind. And I actually started my college career here in Sacramento. I went to community college first. For me, I wasn't really sure exactly what I wanted to do when I went to college, but both of my parents were like, college isn't an option, like you have to go. And I was like, oh, okay, fine. I guess I'll go. But I was happy that I chose to go the college or community college route because it honestly gave me a lot of like flexibility. The courses are so much cheaper. And the first couple of years of university, you're going to be doing your GEs anyways. And so I decided to go to community college and just take a bunch of courses that interested me. I was actually at community college for roughly 3 years, and in that time, I actually took a bunch of courses that piqued my interest, and some of those courses were in cultural studies, social and behavioral studies, and I really like that. Like, I really genuinely like learning about different cultures, learning about different people's stories, understanding their background, and like so that I can be a better communicator and a better collaborator. I think it's really important. I feel like if you guys have been watching my videos, you've noticed that there's like a theme of me just trying to get people to come together. So both of my parents, including my sister, they're all in the medical field, and I am not someone who can do well with like blood, throw up, any bodily fluid. It really disgusts me. I'm not with that. And obviously, there's a part of everyone who wants to make money. And so I was like, oh man, like, what can I do to like take what I've learned and make money with it? My dad was like, oh, you seem like you have a very practical mind. Like, maybe you should start looking into business courses. And so I actually started working when I was really young. I think I was like 15 and a half, 16. I was a pizza girl, but basically, because I started working at a young age, I felt that all of the subject matter when I was in my business courses were kind of making sense. I was like, oh my gosh, yeah, like I've seen this in day-to-day life. Like I get this. And so everything was kind of easy for me to pick up in a way. And so I was like, okay, awesome. Like I'm gonna do this. And so I decided to get my associates for transfer in business. I wanted to be somewhere far enough from home where I couldn't live with my parents, but I wanted to be somewhere close enough where I could still visit on the weekends. And so I ended up going to San Jose State. I was like taking business ethics courses and things, and I realized like, wow, like a lot of people when they make decisions in business don't really think about their impact on the environment, and they are really money motivated, and that's like the first thing that they think of. It's always about making money and how they're going to go about that without really thinking about their impact on their environment. And so when I went to San Jose State, I was like, okay, like that's what's bad about business. I don't want to be that person. I want to be someone who actually is making a positive impact. And so I decided to major in business management and minor in environmental studies. So that was a very long-winded kind of explanation of like how I like found myself in what I do and what I enjoy. So one of my goals when I studied business and environmental studies was to make sure that I landed a job at a company who is creating technology to positively impact the future. Like I knew from a young age that I wanted kids. I actually grew up spending a lot of time outdoors. My parents have a cabin up in Northern California. And so I would always just spend the summers and the winters outside trying different sports or just going on like really fun hikes. Like me and my family, like that's one of our favorite things to do is just like go on a really fun hike together. So yeah, like I was saying, I took everything that I learned. I was applying to a bunch of different places, and I was so blessed and lucky enough to land a job at Lucid Motors, which is, I don't know if you guys have heard of it, but it's an electric car company. I'm not going to go into grave detail about that, but that company is making a really awesome car. The specs on that thing are incredible. Like the mission is great. Like there's so much about that company that I genuinely love. But I felt that I had more opportunity to develop and grow at a different place. I will just talk about, you know, the process of me after I decided that I wanted to switch into a different role, what that kind of looks like, and what my tips and tricks are. Very sorry about the very long intro, but I think it was important to just kind of get a little bit of backstory, and we can go from there. So right now we are still currently, you know, trying to heal from the really harsh effects of COVID-19. And I think a lot of companies are recognizing that they need to start bringing more people on and like start hiring again. And I definitely noticed an uproar of, you know, jobs being open within the past couple of months. So first thing is first, when you are deciding that you want to move into a different role or you want to switch companies or whatever the situation is, you have to be very dedicated. If you wanted to stay at the company that you currently work in, but you just wanted to move into a different role, the dedication that you would need in that is being dedicated to networking every single day and trying to grow your network and making different connections within the company. So that way you have a smooth transition into whatever role or position it is that you want there. But if you are looking like as myself and you wanted to move into a different company and into a different role, the most important thing is to literally be dedicated and check LinkedIn every single day. Check LinkedIn every single day. Like everyone is going to have their, you know, special companies that they're really interested in and that they really want to work for. And like LinkedIn is awesome because you can literally set up little LinkedIn alerts and you'll get notifications to your email and to your phone and to your profile, just letting you know like, hey, so-and-so company has posted XYZ jobs for you today. I know in my last videos, I've been talking a lot about like manifestations, and I've been talking about like how to make all the things that you want in your life become a reality. But the harsh truth is that you can't just sit around and manifest without taking action to make those things happen. So yes, you do have to manifest and you do have to believe that whatever it is that you want will come to you, but you also have to take those necessary steps to get you onto that right path. So there is a misconception that if you spruce up your resume and you make it look really good and you have whatever sections that you want on your resume, that you can have this one really great, well thought out resume and send it to all these different companies and that you're gonna get a call back. Wrong. That's not the case. So each company has what they call an ATS or applicant tracking system. And whenever you send in your resume to this applicant tracking system, it's actually a smart computer that is using filters to look through all the words and verbiage that is on your resume. And it's actually only going to pull the stronger resumes from that pool. You have to tailor each individual resume to the company that you are actually applying to, and you will literally get way more responses and you'll land way more interviews versus if you just had one resume that you mass send out. The thing is that each job description might be a little bit different at each company, right? And also each company might have specific keywords that they're looking for on that resume. For example, if I wanted to apply to a company and I really wanted my resume to stand out, I would look at their mission statement, I would look at their job description, and I would try to pull words and use words that are directly from that job description, as well as use some of the words and verbiage that they might have in their mission statement, just so that I could cater to that directly. You're gonna get 50,000 no's before you get 50 yeses. And I know that those numbers are very dramatic, but it's very true. And when you're on the job hunt, you just have to remind yourself to stay positive. And each time you send out an application and each time you sit down an interview and you either hear nothing back at all or you get told that it wasn't the right fit, well, that's 100% fine, because you know why? It happened for a reason. But I don't know about you guys, but like for me, if I got like one no and something that I really wanted didn't work out, usually I feel like one door closes and like 3 new doors open. So just think of it like that. Like, okay, yeah, I interviewed for this company, I did a couple of rounds, and I didn't get invited to the last interview. Well, that's okay. That just means that there's an even better opportunity waiting for you, and it's just calling your name, and you just have to stay motivated and remind yourself that that's going to happen. I know it's so much easier said than done to like be positive or try to stay positive when you're going through this process, but it's seriously so necessary in order for you to really stand out. Like, no matter how many no's you get, you always have to bring that positive energy and put your best foot forward, because like, let's say you got a no from this company that you thought that you had a good chance with, and you got that no, and then the next day or 2 days later, you get a call from your dream company, and they're like, oh my gosh, we want to sit down and interview with you, and you've already been turned down 20 times, and you're just like, oh my God, like, I don't think I can do this. Like, I've got turned down so many different times. Like, how is it that my dream company is gonna want me? Well, guess what, Sally or Billy? You have to pull your big boy pants and big girl pants on and remind yourself that, hey, they want to see the best version of you. And that's the best version of you that they should receive. Every single interview that you give, you should give it 110%, no matter how shitty the day was before. And you know, that's a really important skill to have, because once you get a job and once you start working, you literally have to remind yourself that when shit hits the fan in your day-to-day life, you still have to come into work and, you know, try. Like, leave your stuff at the door if possible. If not, have an open and honest conversation with your manager. But you have to learn to, like, you know, be positive and just go in and put your best self forward. That's just so important in life, is putting your best self forward. And so, like, I'm not saying that if you're depressed or if you're having an anxiety attack, like, don't say anything, like, keep it in, like, no. But let's say your dream company was the one who called you and they want to do an interview, and you just feel like, oh man, I'm not feeling good. Like, I've had all these no's happening. Like, I just feel like I need a couple of days to like get there and to feel confident again. Well, guess what? They're going to ask you for your availability, and you can control your schedule and say, oh, well, I think I need a couple of days, like, let's say it's a Tuesday. I think I need a couple of days. I'll have my first interview on Friday or Monday, you know? Give yourself that time and allow yourself that time to feel through it, heal up, and be ready for that next interview. You've got this. I didn't really, like, take any notes on this. I'm kind of just, like, spewing my mind. So if it's, like, a little bit all over the place, you know why, but I know what I want to talk about. I just have to, like, let it flow. You know what I mean? Just gotta let it flow. People go into interviews and they just think, like, okay, like, they're gonna interview me. Like, this is gonna be my interview. They're gonna ask me all these questions, like, blah, 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 blah. And I know it's intimidating and it can kind of be uncomfortable to have like all the attention on you and feel like, oh my gosh, like it's all about me. Like I don't want to make it about me. And so while you're in your interview and then you're sitting there and they'll ask you like, do you have any questions? And then you flip it and you totally turn the interview around onto who that person is. And then you start asking them all these questions about them. Like, yeah, it's cool to maybe have 1 or 2 questions about that. But you don't want to make it about them because this interview is about you. And if you are a right fit for the company, but not only that, if they are the right fit for you. And so my big tip on this is that you also got to take control of the interview. And when they start asking you, do you have any questions for me? Take full reins of that, man. Like have 4 or 5, maybe 6 interview questions that you want to ask them, but don't make them about that person. Like I said, you could have maybe 1 or 2, but make them about the company. Make them about what you are looking for in your next role, what you really need. Like for me, something that's very, very important is a mission statement to a company and how that mission statement bleeds into the company culture. And I always ask questions surrounding that because I don't want to work for a company that has a mission statement that doesn't bleed into every single thing that they do. I want to make sure that where I work, every single person that works there believes in that mission and they deliver that mission every single day in the ways that they can. That's something that I personally look for. So I ask a lot of questions around that. Be selective about where you're going. Be selective and make sure that you really do feel like you're a good fit there and you really feel like the role is something that you're excited about. This is the thing that I've noticed. Once you start landing interviews, it's like you can't stop landing them and then everyone wants you all at the same time. And so just go with it. Just go with it. Have fun with it and be yourself. Like that is the most like cliche advice that anyone is ever going to give you, but it's true. All you can ever do is be yourself. Don't come into an interview and be super phony and try to be who you think they want you to be because 1, they're going to see right through that. And 2, they didn't come here to meet the person you think they want to meet. They came to meet you and who you genuinely are, right? And see if you're a really good fit for the company. So just be yourself. Just be yourself. Try to be professional, but also don't like alter the way that you talk in such a severe way that when you start on your first day, they're like, I'm very confused, you know? So just like talk to them like you're talking to your friend, like you're talking to someone that you know, and just be yourself. This boba is seriously so good right now. Does anyone here like ASMR videos? I could do a little moment right now. Hold on. Was that too much? ASMR. I'm really into those. Like the food ones. Oh my god. So great. This is literally a video that nobody has really asked for, but I just thought I would just share my tips and tricks because like I said, it's something that I just recently went through. And anyone who's following me on social media, if anyone has any questions, totally leave them in the comments. Like I'd be more than happy to answer them. TMI. Okay. Thank you all for tuning in to my video. Thank you for subscribing if you've subscribed. Thank you for the support and the kind words. And I'm really excited to be continuing this journey with you guys. I hope you guys have a good rest of the week. But yeah, thanks for tuning in. Bye. See you next Wednesday. Yeah.